Oops. I missed. Hey there, friendlies. I'm just going to assume that got us past the ad roll. I'm also assuming that you guys can hear me okay. Cans for the radio announcer magic. So let's see who we got with us. Who's hipping and hopping and hanging out with us? Before I check that, actually, let's do the usual housekeeping and such. Welcome to the newly named Bevvies, Blades and Bushcraft livestream, where we have the various kinds of bevies. We have blades somewhere, I don't know where I put it, and we do on occasion get through to the point where we can talk about some bushcrafty stuff. If you decide at some point tonight that I'm going to start that again. If you're watching us time shifted to tomorrow or next week or next month or next year, thank you for your eyes. Thank you for the comments that pop up down below. Last few months, I haven't been really on top of the comments as much as I'd like to be, but I do appreciate seeing your words pop up, and I will eventually get around to answering everyone. If, excuse me, at any point tonight you really, really, really love what's happening on screen and in your ear holes, I invite you to hit that thumbs up, otherwise known as the smiley thumb. And if at any point tonight you kind of don't like what's going on, like for instance the way I'm completely blowing my intro, then that's okay. The frowny thumb works just as well. And if you'd like to take a more active role in supporting the channel, keeping the lights on, keeping me in things like batteries and such, I invite you to hit the join button that's down here somewhere. Take a look at what the 2 tiers of membership will get you for your hard-earned cash. And then without any further ado, I'd like to get on to saying hi to everyone and then talking about what I think I'd like to chitty McChatty about tonight, which is sort of, I guess, a weekend roundup. It was a long weekend here in Canada, well, and across the British Commonwealth. Actually, it's just called the Commonwealth now. It's called Victoria Day. Of course, in Quebec, it's called something else, but I don't remember. Journée des Patriotes, I think. Patriots Day. The Patriots were a nonsense rebellion way back in Quebec's history. And so I want to talk a little bit about it because it was an active weekend for me. Let's say hi to everyone who's shown up so far. Okay, so first off the bat at 10 to 9 was Peanut Trucker. Yes, right. And Peanut Trucker is a channel member, which makes him my personal hero. Though I believe I was going to change that to Channel Heroes, wasn't I? I think that's what Peanut Trucker is mentioning. As someone who was listening last week, let me know. Is it Channel Heroes now? I don't remember. I've had a very rough couple of weeks, guys. I have a brain like an absolute lump of coal right now. David Evans in the house, and man, those guys are each other's heroes like no one else. David, I did not close my exercise ring today. I figured I'd let you know. I was glad to see you're here because as soon as I saw that I hadn't closed one, I was like, oh, David's going to be disappointed. David is noticing the new title. Yep. We got Canadian in the house. How's it going, Jerry? Hold on. I have a screen time request from the eldest daughter. She's under the gun for homework, and so I must give her the screen time she requires. Although I do wish she had asked for it before I was live streaming. That should be good. We'll see. And yeah, Jerry, man, the mosquitoes are out here too tonight. It's been a little nuts. the wife, the youngest daughter, and I were sitting out on the back, having a little supper, and man, they just wouldn't leave us alone. Okay, everyone's just saying hi to each other. There's Mark Johns. Hey, that reminds me. I'm gonna read a passage, a very small passage from this book tonight, that I found fascinating in a kind of a universal truth sort of sense. Grace Martin. Oh, wait. Sorry, I forgot to say that David Evans is also a channel hero because he is a member, and so is Canadian, and so is Mark. Many heroes here tonight, guys. Many heroes. Even Grace. Look at that. All heroic. All these channel heroes. Canadian says, in the past few weeks, I've been poked, prodded, x-rayed, tested, injected, ultrasound, and June 2nd, I'm going for a left side angiogram. Doc wants to verify that all tests so far say no blockages. That's a lot of action, dude. Whew, how do you feel after all that? We got Honeybee in the house. How's it going, Bee? What's up, Bee? I'm too old to talk like that. Yeah, a Canadian, me too. I'm on amlodipine for that, or amlodipine, or whatever they call it, and I'm supposed to lose like still another 20 pounds. I recently saw some video of myself, which I'm thinking I might share from this weekend, and I definitely want to lose that 20 pounds. I don't like the way I look. Country Boy, also a channel member, which means a channel hero. How's it going, Country Boy? How are things out your way? David is reminding everyone to hit the thumbs up to all the channel heroes. Mark Johns, thank you very much. It was this whole weekend's been a mixed bag, dude. There's been some great stuff and there's been some lousy stuff. Christy's here, also a channel member, channel hero. Okay, you guys are saying that the sound is loud and clear. I like it. I'm just skipping down to see if did I miss anyone? No, looks like we're good. Whiskey Harbor in the house. How's it going? Whiskey is also a channel hero. Canadian says he likes the new live stream name. Whoever helped pick that is a smart guy. I think I might know who that was. Linda, how's it going? Linda is also a channel member. Man, so many members. I love it. I love seeing that. Because that means that I can, keep buying camera batteries and stuff. Shawnee in the house. Shawnee, channel hero in the house. Supposed to take your 3 kids under age 5 tent camping for the first time this weekend. I'm going to start packing tomorrow. Yeah, man, that sounds good. I have never taken the youngest one tent camping. We've gone tent camping. We've gone to those Utopia things. That's like a permanent tent that's put up in a national park. They've got like a little light inside. They got bunks. They got a little gas stove at the front. You're not pitching the tent. It's boom. The eldest daughter I've been taking camping. I guess I started around 5, but there's only one of her at that point. I'm at 3. Whew. Okay. So yeah, I'm just hold on. Linda says that the mosquitoes chased her to the Jenny and back. Yeah, I was slapping the whole time we were sitting at the back. Hey there. How's it going, Skip? Skip is also a channel member, channel hero. What David's saying here, by the way, Shawnee, is really astute. I have done some backyard camping with the eldest daughter as she was growing up as well, just to sort of get her used to the idea of the tent, and she thought it was a lot of fun. It's a really nice. Not like that doesn't have to be the way you start them off. That wasn't the way I started Camille off, but she really did she does in fact like backyard camping. I think she just likes sleeping in a tent. just taking a look. Everyone's just sort of saying hi to each other and calling each other heroes. Shawnee says that they did that 2 times to discuss tent etiquette. It's a tool, not a toy. We do not push our brother through the screen. We do not hang from the top. Yep, that makes sense to me. Hike with Mike in the house. How's it going, Mike? How are things down your neck of the bio these days? Russell in the house. Hi, Russell. I'm just... Yeah, me too, Canadian. Me too. I'm just making sure I'm not missing anyone. There, speaking of which, there's Al. How's it going? Al is also a channel hero. And, of course, we got Lord Vader in the house. How's it going, Lord Vader? How are things on the Death Star tonight? So I figured I would tell you guys a bit about my weekend and find out how your weekend were. You're not all Canadian here, or you don't all live in somewhere in the Commonwealth. So it wasn't Victoria Day for everyone here. But for those of us who do live in a country where this was a long weekend, or I don't know, I did notice that over our history, American holidays have really sort of tended to dovetail with Canadian ones in a big way. Did you guys have a holiday yesterday? Just taking a look. Mark John spent the day cleaning and organizing camping gear. Kids inherited some great tents and canoeing gear. I think I may have... Do you guys remember a long time ago I said I wanted to do this like retro camping trip, like 70s era? I think I may have a line on some 70s era gear. I may. I got to check that out. Oh, year-long weekend is upcoming. Okay. All right. And which holiday is that going to be? I'm going to go out on a limb and say you don't call it Victoria Day. Booty boo booty boo boo. Memorial Day, which is this coming Monday. What? So then what the hell do you guys do for Remembrance Day on November 11th? I know you guys dovetail with us on that because everyone does. Is that when you got your Veterans Day or whatever? Is that Veterans Day? Because I know you don't call it Remembrance Day. Hey, we got Destiny in the house. Darth Vader popping in the knowledge, saying 216 days until Christmas. Nice. So, yeah, Memorial Day. Okay. Linda's just showing off. I'm not retired yet, so I get all grumpy when people are like, I'm retired. And I'm like, I'm not. Okay, so, yeah, oops. Veterans Day is Remembrance Day. All right. So what I wanted to say is, my birthday is on May 21st. So for my whole life, there've been like flags and stuff on the weekend of my birthday. When I was a kid, my parents used to say that the extra day off and the flags and stuff were all for me because it was my birthday, which was funny. But there was no time for a party or anything this year because I stupidly took gigs this weekend without even thinking about it. I guess I forgot. And so Friday and Saturday night, we were at Hurley's Irish Pub in beautiful downtown Montreal. And Saturday during the day, we played something called Porch Fest, which in NDG is like all the bands who live in NDG, which is my neighborhood. Notre-Dame-de-Grâce is my it's half of my borough. It was historically, it was an independent city until about, I don't know, 1910, 1913 or something when I got amalgamated with Montreal. So the borough I live in, which is Notre-Dame-de-Grâce, CôTE-SAINT-LUC, Côte-Neige, CôTE-SAINT-LUC, is the biggest borough in Montreal in terms of land and also in terms of population. Anyway, so there's a lot of bands that live in NDG. And so NDG Porch Fest is 2 days of the bands playing on the porch or front yard or driveway of whichever band member lives in NDG. And so we participated this year, and it was very successful. We had a really nice crowd. I finally have a little bit of video of my band playing. I mean, it's not our usual context in any way, but the sound wasn't bad. It's recorded on an iPhone, so. But I was wondering if, I don't know if it'll work, but I was wondering if you guys wanted to see just a little tiny bit of what we did. Of course, my sinuses are going nuts again. Mark says we grew up calling the May 24 holiday Firecracker Day. Nice. Oops. That's not what I meant. This is what I meant. Canadians retiring in 3 years. Nice. Kristen thinks I should show it. Yeah, yeah, I could show a little bit. But the thing is, I don't know if there's going to be any sound. I'm going to try it. Okay, the little ball is trying to think. I'll just show you a couple of little bits. Go to the downloads. What is this one? Nope. It is in downloads, right? Let me find. I thought it was in downloads. Maybe I'm wrong. While I'm doing that, I will say that I did not do much in the way of actual partying for my birthday this year. It was hold on. There was no time. I mean, it was 51. It wasn't like a seminal birthday, right? Trying this again. Hey, wouldn't it be funny if I couldn't get it to work? All files. How come you're not showing my stuff? Bum. This is not the way I had anticipated this working. Okay. So I'll show you a little bit and then I'll tell you what's going on. What you about romance? Now, can you guys hear that? Did you guys hear any of that? Because I don't want to let it go any longer if you guys are not. Yes, you did hear that? Okay, so what was going on there is we play 500 miles, you know, by the Proclaimers. I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more. And instead of doing, like, after we do verse, fiddle solo, and then this, like, the world's second longest medley of pop songs. Anything that sort of is in the same key and fits with that. So what's happening here? So what's happening there? I'm going to stop that one. So yeah, that was in the medley part. I'm sure my guitarist recorded like the whole thing, but I'm not entirely sure yet. Just so everyone hears, it's nice. Okay, so if I have video on my hard drive and I'm not trying to play it through Final Cut Pro or anything, if I just open a video file, we're good. That's good to know. I'll show you another one. Like, I've got 4 of these, but they're all just like little snippets. I'll show you another one. I'm just, after all this time, I finally have a little bit of video to show you guys. It's not in a pub, it's not at a wedding or anything, but it was fun because it was such a low stress gig. Going into it, I was a bag of toys, but it very rapidly became very comfortable. And so what Porch Fest is like, none of us, we pass around a hat, but we don't keep the money. It's a fundraiser for the NDG's Community Services Council. Piss on a biscuit. What's it called? But anyways, it's the local services council. They do things like they run a lot of arts events. They're hooked into some food banks and stuff, like all kinds of community stuff. They're a nonprofit. And at the table, Camille was running a lemonade and chip stand, and she gave half of her proceeds as well. So we did well on the money front. Oh yeah, and then so Saturday night we're at Hurley's, and it was this weird conjunction of regular friends / regular fans who become friends from Montreal, 1 or 2 in from Ottawa, 2 different contexts happening there, and then a family that we know through playing in Alberta every summer. In fact, we play a house concert at their place every year. And so it was this really weird conjunction of all these little facets of our musical friendships. It was a really nice night too. We played well. The crowd was good. Dynamite weekend for music. For having a party, not so great, but don't care. It was a good weekend anyway. I sort of said to some of the guys on Russell's Discord that I've had a very rough 2 or 3 weeks. So it was really nice to cap it off with some good times, because I needed them like you guys would not believe. Yeah, Shawnee, there were a lot of people. There's a dedicated crowd that, like, okay, Porch Fest is on this weekend. We're seeing, and they use the little schedule, and okay, they map out, okay, this is 3 blocks over from that one. If we bike over, right, because you have an hour. You're not allowed to do an encore or anything. You have an hour, because once your hour is done, there's another band starting up. 3 blocks over, maybe across town, whatever, but it has to keep rolling. And some of the people who were there said that was probably the biggest crowd they'd seen, which was good because it was our first time doing it. So I felt really good about it. Country Boy may have to travel to Alberta this year. I will let you know where we're playing and when. We go to Alberta. This is probably our last year, actually. We do the East Coast Kitchen Party at the, I keep wanting to say Scott Thompson, but no, not that Thompson. The Thompson Resort. It's on Abraham Lake. Shawnee's husband played in a disc golf tournament over the weekend to raise money for the food shelf. Had to bring 10 food items to play. We sponsored a hole. He painted canvas for a few prizes. Nice. Yeah, Destiny has been rough. There's a lot of stuff I'm not going to talk about, but it's been a rough little while. Canadian. Maybe in fall. I'm trying to sort of hold on to a few last vacation days so that I can maybe do a long weekend out in the woods somewhere. Um, I wasn't sure. I was trying to keep Sir Russell's place in mind, but I think he's got people coming. So I don't know. Maybe I'll go and see you. Maybe we can do some paddling around or something. Um, it would be so nice if I had the kind of days where I could go and see like all of you people in the same year. But that's just not my life right now. But yeah. I don't know. Let's maybe I'll just come and pitch a tent on your land somewhere. Right? You've got some land if I remember correctly. Let's talk off. Um, I can't really solidify any plans right now. I don't know if I've managed to keep any vacation time aside. Um, yeah, pitch a tent. Yeah, exactly. What, 24 you were watching and only 15 thumbs ups? I was even showing music, guys. I was keeping you guys entertained. God. Such a thankless existence. So thankless. Yeah, I'd like to come back and see you again as well, David. I like your little place there. Well, your little place. I like your place there. I like that lake you're on. I like that Lake Huron. Lake Huron surprised me one night, but I think I've already told you guys about that story. Linda polyurethane the teak kitchen counters and shelves on the weekend. Looks nice with the semi-gloss. Another protector from water and wine stains. Nice. I made a... Wow, 206 acres. I wonder how much that is in hectares. No matter what, it sounds like a lot of land. Yeah, I'm not going to Florida in the winter. I can't afford that long a travel. I could drive down, but it would probably take me a week or something. Well, that is a lot of acres to roam. Jeez, maybe I should just come and see you every few months. Resettle my head. I think that's part of what's been really getting at me lately is that I need to get the hell out of the city. I need some solo woods time, like you wouldn't believe. Um, so if my guitarist did get some good footage, maybe I'll try to share one or two more songs with you guys over the next few weeks. Since I'm talking about heading to the woods and pitching a tent, I'm at the sort of the beginning of this book because I don't. Well, first of all, because Mark gave me two books to read. I'm reading one on the bus when I go to work, which is like once or twice a week. But I don't know if I've said this before, but I feel that I was born an explorer too late to explore. So whenever I read books like the other one that Mark gave me, which is not here, it's upstairs, but it's one of those sort of it's a travel log of a guy alone in a canoe up north kind of thing. Whenever I read these things, I feel simultaneously inspired, and I've got this like almost existential angst creeping into my head more and more, every few months over the fact that I'm just not getting into the woods as often as I need to. So I read these books hungrily, right? Because I can see it in my head. Because I went to art school, so I can see everything in my head. But I also it makes me just want to drop everything, spend way too much money on a canoe, and just go. You know what I'm saying? And I've been thinking a lot about that over the past few days, so a few weeks. So there's a section in this book, like right at the beginning, okay, right at the beginning, about patience, and I find that I needed to read this because when sort of life starts to really bug me, I lose my patience. Like I hurry everywhere. It's like I feel like I have no time. I'm just running around like a fart in a windstorm, making supper as fast as I can because I'm invariably going to be late, And so there's a section on patience, And I'm not going to read you the whole thing because I don't want to bore you guys. But there's like, after the part where he talks about the value of patience. Actually, here's an interesting. Most modern outdoors people don't have much patience. They offer these reasons why. 1, bad weather or behind schedule. Gotta keep trucking or we'll lose our layover day at the big falls. 2, a macho attitude. Other parties paddle these difficult rapids, climb the high mountain, so can we. 3, we've prepared for the worst. Dangerous rapids? Difficult climb? Bad weather ahead? No problem. We have superior equipment. And here's what I wanted to read you guys. Here are some examples, only one of which I'll read you, of how patience pays. Okay, here's the behind schedule one. It's an anecdote, sort of a memory of when he was on a trip. The wind was blowing bloody murder when we arrived at Otter Lake, Fond du Lac River, Saskatchewan. Actually, if it's Saskatchewan, it's probably Fond du Lac or something like that. So we put ashore around noon to wait it out. The waves continued through lunch, so I suggested that we camp and try again tomorrow. We were snuggled under a tarp, sharing hot buttered rum and popcorn, when we saw 2 canoes, wind in their face, plugging toward our camp. I waved them in and suggested they share our camp. They said they were behind schedule and had to keep going. The wind quit around noon the next day, and we paddled off with a smile, determined to make up lost time. The sun sets around 11 p.m. at this latitude, which is 59 degrees, so we agreed to canoe until dark. Around 2 p.m., we passed their camp. Everyone was asleep. We logged 31 miles that day and 29 the next, which put us ahead of schedule. We never saw the other canoe party again. The moral? Nature rules. Stop when you must, run when you can. You can't read a paddling book or see a paddling show, documentary, YouTube, whatever, without them being either rainbound or windbound at least once. And I find that there are 2 prevailing philosophies around stuff like that, one of which I'm impressed by, and the other of which I fear would be me. There are those who, they're windbound. They just, I got a book, we got some beer. Let's just, look, we're not in the city, And then there's the others who are like, we gotta, we're late, And I want to be able to say that I would just kick back with a book and enjoy the sound of the wind whipping against the tarp, smelling the nature. That's the one I want to be. That's the person I want to be. But I think, especially if I was out now, after so long of not having been out, that I would feel pressure to make it a successful trip. But what the hell's a successful trip? Right? What's a successful trip? You hit all your markers and you get out on time? In some ways, yeah, that's successful. In a textbook way, that would be successful, right? That's someone doing the meanest link in record time, right? But is another way of measuring success, and maybe a more fundamental way. We missed the last lake. We had to just paddle right on through. But we saw a moose, we saw loons, we saw a lynx. We sat quietly and watched as a couple of beavers took down a tree about 80 paces away. We smelled the forest. We had campfires. We slept in one day because we were in just such a beautiful spot that we didn't want to leave. We have clear, crystal clear, warm memories of a rocky beach we didn't even know was there because it wasn't on the map. We took our time with the portage because, we had a lot to carry and we didn't want to injure ourselves. But because we were looking around and taking our time, we saw a break in the trees and we saw a spectacular view of a waterfall. I mean, I'm just pulling stuff out of the ether. But like in terms of thinking back on the trip from 20 years later, is, you know, discovering a secret waterfall because you're taking your time not a better memory than I did the meanest link? The nature is a blur, but I did it in record time. The word patience comes up a lot when you're reading like really good outdoors people's memoirs or how to's or whatever. It shows up all the time. It's shown up in. I mean, you guys have heard Kevin Callan talking on this show, you know, or on City TV or the CBC or whatever. Patience plays into what he does as well. Because there's the enjoyment factor that I'm telling you about. You discover things. Oh, man, there's a marmot there. But it also it also increases your chances of not hurting yourself because you're running around. 20 minutes to whiskey time. What am I opening, by the way? Obviously, we got that, and Al's here, so that's probably what we'll open. But I also... So this is my birthday dram. I wanted to buy myself a really cool dram, but unfortunately, on the day, I spent so much time arguing with my eldest daughter about math homework that I didn't have time to go to my favorite liquor store before it closed. So I went to a closer one that had very ho-hum selection. And so I picked up the Talisker 10 out of pure reminiscence because I don't think I've had it in like 30 years. So this was not what I would call a birthday-worthy dram, but it's not bad. It's a belter of a dram, but I wanted to buy something really special. So yeah, anyways, that's me just blithering and blithering and blithering, and I've missed all kinds of stuff. Okay, 26 acres, 24,000, get in the truck. Yeah, I'll just jump in. Oh yeah, you're in Renfrew. Man, a long time ago when I was in the Air Cadets, when I was at basic training, no, junior leadership school at Lac Sebastien. I knew a girl from Renfrew. Because it was like squadron, like regional, right? These camps are all regional. So squadrons from Eastern Ontario, Quebec, and Quebec sort of, well, and Western Quebec really sort of, whereas Maritimes go over there, blah, 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 blah. Some of the camps are national, right? There's Cold Lake for senior leadership school. Lac Sebastien had a survival school. But there's also a survival school at, I think, Esquimalt or something in BC. Is it Esquimalt? I don't remember. Anyway, so I knew a girl from Renfrew. She was pretty as hell. Nice girl, too. Linda's asking Jerry if he has a lot of tall pines or if it's mixed. I will check your answer in a second, Jerry. My girl is asking for time again. There we go. Oh, the homework takes so long. Yeah, I know that, Jerry. I don't want to talk about it too openly or anything, but yeah, we'll chitty McChat. Mixed forest. Yeah, that's Peanut says, I just want to come visit and sit in the porch while you pick on the guitar. Yeah, nice. Shawnee says, yeah, okay. All right. Can I start that again? I'm going to start that again. Shawnee says, I can't do schedules while relaxing. And that's definitely that's a good philosophy. Like if you're just supposed to be relaxing, like drop any pretense. David doesn't even know what a schedule is because he's retired, but I'm not. So Russell says, patience is a turd stool. I don't even know what that means, but that's funny. Yeah, the other group was asleep at 2 p.m. because they'd been trying to charge through headwinds all day, right? They'd blown themselves out, and they were not going to reach where they had to reach anyway because they'd exhausted themselves. Then it has mostly tall pines and birch, bit of maples, lots of tamaracks. Very similar to land that I used to go to a lot when we were still hunting. In fact, I learned about the tamarack there. I'd never known what a tamarack was before that. Shawnee says, being late makes my skin burn and my stomach turn. I can't be late. I don't like being late either. I don't. I hate it. It happens a lot to me, though, let me tell you. Drives me right around the twist. Country Boy says, sitting on a porch listening to someone picking on a guitar is heaven in my books. Yeah. Can't go wrong, eh? Shawnee says, a trip that's successful is one that makes you feel good or have a story to tell afterwards. Absolutely. David, of course, says, can't pick a guitar, but I can pick my nose on a porch. Good to know. Hold on. I just got lost. Hey, Austin's Corner is here. How's it going, Austin? I was just thinking about you yesterday. I don't know if I came across something on Instagram or something. I don't remember what it was, but yeah. How's it going? Kristen, you really stuck to the no beer thing, huh? Yeah, I'm trying it out this week. I don't even think I have any right now. You know what I do have in the fridge upstairs? So I bought one of those. Actually, I accidentally bought two. Like a can of Jack Daniels and cola, like the Jack Daniels, the number 7. I was like, whiskey I don't like and a no-name cola. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, that's sitting in the fridge, and I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do with that. David is doing the God's own work by telling everyone to hit that there smiley thumb. Thank you, mister. Everyone's saying hi to Austin's Corner. Destiny loved Lake Huron. Man, I've been on the Great Lakes once. Excuse me. I mean, I've driven past before, but a few years ago now, we rented an Airbnb, like a cabin, Airbnb cabin at near Tobermory on the Bruce Peninsula, and it was on just like a little inlet from the lake, Georgian Bay, on the Huron side, and a spectacular night. I've told this before, but I don't know how long it's been. The OG members or the OG subscribers will remember this, but I'm sitting there at night and I'm writing. I got my laptop and I'm writing. And it's a beautiful night. Breeze, warm, but cool. You know what it feels like when it's a cool night after a really hot day. Breeze coming through the place because I've got the windows open, just the screens. Nice cross breeze. I'm just sitting there, and off in the distance I hear a slight rumble of thunder, like, I mean, in the distance, and then suddenly, huge bang right above me. Wind, like the breeze turns to the wind. There's rain coming in, and I'm running around closing stuff. And it was that fast. It was like, rumble, 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 boom. Like maybe a few seconds between that and it just sweeping right in. And so many songs, like from Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald to White Squall by Stan Rogers, insist on how suddenly the lakes can go from like almost glass to an almighty gale. And in that moment, I understood exactly what they were talking about. There was something like eerie about how fast that happened and how, like, I guess I had always thought that the songs were using poetic license. And in that moment, I was like, no, I'm glad I'm not out there right now. Yeah. And so I want to go back. This little inlet from Lake Huron that we were on, I guess the lake was really high or something because there were all these trees sticking out of the water. And there had been sort of like land between where we were. Like, I think it was a little sort of pond that went out into the lake. But the land that separated the little pond from Lake Huron was only like, it was just touching the top of the water. So we were really careful about not canoeing too close to that side of the inlet for fear of anything happening. Because my daughter wasn't even 10 yet at that point. So nice though. And I hiked a little bit of the Bruce. I had, the wife and kids gave me some time alone, gave me a few hours alone to hike a bit of the Bruce. So nice. I found this rock beach and I was completely alone. So I kicked off my shoes and stepped into the water. I was like, oh my God, that's so cold. I got all this on video. I did a small series of videos about that trip, including one that was just the canoe trip with Cody. It was our first time in a canoe. I believe it was, yeah, I think it was her first time. Maybe her second. I don't know. Whatevs. I'm lost. Crumbs. Okay. Rebel with an O. Hi, by the way. Rebel with an O is a channel member, a channel hero. Best to soak in nature as much as possible and find some psilocybin along the way. Okay. Russell says he's glad I didn't like the Jack and Coke drink. Yeah, but oh my lord, look who's here. Tyler Wood. How's it going? How's it going, Mr. Man? I haven't seen you in a while. I told you before that I really like that new logo of yours, eh? So good. Did you tell me where you got that logo from? That wasn't a Fiverr thing, was it? Or do you have a friend who's a designer? I love it. Austin says, things are well. Went trout fishing after work. 3-day work week. No complaints. Nice. 3 days. I like it. Trout, if I eat, I will die. But I love the idea of just sort of kicking back and doing some fishing. Sean Alaska's here too. How's it going? How's it going, Sean? How are things up in Alaska on this day of days? Oh, Whiskey, your property is on the Bruce Peninsula. Is it on the Huron side? Oh, Lake Huron side. Nice. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Awesome. I was also thinking the other day about how much fun it was to gift that bag to Serge. Probably one of my last good memories before the days of the Rona. Yeah, man, he was so excited about that bag. That's a long time ago. That was a good live stream too. His life has completely changed since then. But I think for the better in a lot of ways. He would probably agree with me. I don't want to talk for him though. No, just never mind. We're just gonna move right along. I love it. Shawnee says, Sean Alaska, you're gonna be so bored when the cabin is fully finished. What will you build next? David's boats are going in the water this weekend. Nice. I like it. Sorry, it just jumped. So I'm a long way from being finished yet, but there's always something else to build. Absolutely. Then you'll have to build an outdoor kitchen, and then a sauna, and then you'll go like full on Sean James, right? Russell can find some of the Great Lakes on a map. That's good. Good. Sean did halibut and cod. Nice. For that kind of stuff, I'd like to try fishing just for the halibut. Dad jokes. A little dad'll do, yeah. An outdoor chicken kitchen. Absolutely. Although you can do steak as well. 9:52. Which whiskey bottle am I opening, folks? If Al is still here, that might make the... I love it. Destiny's saying, when it shakes down at Canadian's place with Peanut and Jess, we're going to need a video. That would be an amazing weekend. Absolutely. Something just... No, not an outdoor squirrel kitchen. Freaking squirrels. Did Canadian just put up a video recently where a squirrel was being an asshole? Oh, good old water. Nectar of the gods. For like 10 years now, I've had sort of going back to school in the back of my head, getting a master's in something. And there are two reasons why I haven't done it. One of which is that there's just the finances are horrifying, especially because I would have to not work full time. But the other reason is I would want to work YouTubing and nature into the masters in some way. And I haven't been able to figure out exactly how. Like either, like in communications, for instance, you can do either a thesis or a project, right? And so I would do like a video thesis about something, maybe something conservation related or something. But it would have to be something related to what I'm doing. Like I wouldn't want to get like a philosophy master's or something like that, you know. But I'm too old. Like, I don't mean, oh, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I mean, I don't have the patience for people that young. I just want to be like sitting there like, just get off my lawn. You know? But I love the idea of having an excuse to say, no, I actually have to go to the woods this weekend, so I'm going to go. You know? Oh, I see what wrestle means. No, I mean, imagine a chicken going to the kitchen yawning and saying, put some effing toast on, Daryl. This is my brother Daryl. This is my other brother Daryl. Yeah, I don't know. I spent so much time thinking about the way things could have been, you know? Excuse me. Maybe too much time, to be straight with you. Maybe a little too much time thinking such things. Yeah? Yeah. Interesting. Okay, I've caught up with the Chitty McChat, which is nice, because I'm usually late all the way through. I just don't know how to deal with it. I mean, I'm caught up. What the hell? Oh, excuse me. Stop yawning, fool. Nobody's told me which whiskey to open. So that tells me that maybe Al is no longer around. So maybe I'll open the Talisker. The label did not look like this the last time I had Talisker 10. This is a much nicer livery than it used to be, but, you know. 46%, I believe. 46% alcohol by volume, or is it 45.6? 45.8. 45.8% alcohol by volume. I respect that. This is very likely chill filtered and caramel colored, which are two things I don't like. But, you know, it's by Diageo, and that's what they do. They take everything beautiful and kind of ruin it. So, Talisker single malt Scotch whiskey, ruggedly maritime, sweet smoke, peat, pepper. Pepper. In my experience, that's pretty bang on, actually. It's got a little bit of maritime brine to it. As a whiskey made by the sea, Talisker shares a deep love for the beauty and fragility of the oceans and is proudly committed to protecting the ocean ecosystem for the next generation of wild spirits. For more information, visit malts.com. That's not what I meant to... this is what I wanted to say. Powerful and proudly elemental, this sweet, smoky, sea-forged malt began the Talisker story. Crafted by waves, shaped by the shores, experienced Talisker's rugged heart and maritime character. Made by the sea, from rugged coastlines and beastly storms to warming sunbeams and soaring skies. The Isle of Skye powers through our veins and invigorates our souls. Unpredictable elements meet untainted beauty to create a spirit as wild as our island, so raw and yet so refined. That's just marketing piffle. Puissant et fièrement élémentaire, ce malt au accent fumé et sucré fabriqué à bord de la mer est à l'origine de l'histoire de Talisker. Façonné par les vagues, sculpté par le littoral, découvrez l'esprit. This tells you that they actually printed an actual box for Canada, because very often it's all English and then the French is just like an insert, like a paper thrown in. So that's pretty cool on their part. But anyways, like all that marketing piffle just it sort of adds an air of God knows what, but it doesn't really give you useful information. So I tend not to have a whole lot of patience for the marketing piffle. Like, how many of them say that the distillery is fed by mountain streams? But in most of those distilleries, all those mountain streams are doing is cooling the vats, right? When it comes to actually diluting the whiskey from batch strength, from cask strength down to like 40% or whatever they're going to bottle at, half of them are just using municipal water supply. Or not even bottling on their own premises. Bam, bam, bam. Let me just... Hold on. 89 years ago today was the ambush of Bonnie and Clyde. May they rest in peace. I don't know if I can go this weekend. I'm not sure what's happening this weekend. I think Mark might be out. Enjoy your dram until the next time. All right, good night, Mark. Nice to have had you popping on by. Who are Bonnie and Clyde? I love it. I thought they were your relatives. Yikes. Everyone's good. Weren't you in your 20s in 1934? You guys. You guys are killing Don't Quit Your Day Jobs, which is funny because that's what happened to Bonnie and Clyde. They quit their day jobs by being killed. So two vegans are fighting. Do they have beef? They have a beef substitute. Russell likes toast. So, maritime brine, a little salt water, fresh day, rocky shore, seagrass, or, growing up through the rocks. But it's not like 30 degrees. It's like 18 degrees, 20 kind of thing. breeze coming in off the water. It's not like the rotting fish kind of harbor smell. It really is a rocky beach on the ocean. But like, there's a meadow nearby. And like an apple orchard right there. There's also like caramel from American oak, brown sugar. Maybe a coffee roasting in the distance. I was going to go full on Richard Patterson, but I did that last time. David says, just remember, if you fart in church, you must sit in your own pew. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I got to work that into conversation as soon as possible. Ooh, it's drying. Hit of spice, then caramel, and now the saltwater element is at the tip of my tongue and making me salivate. Green apple, but also a little bit of stewed fruit, some lemon rind. It's nice. It's nice. It's just, it's not, it's a good malt, but it's not like a killer dram, you know. Hit of spice. The spice melange from Arrakis. David, I really have to get that joke into conversation quickly. 10:04. My sinuses are still going crazy. David, hold on. Sean knows exactly where I was going. Does the whiskey taste different if you chug it? Yeah, it sure does. If you just go and you chug it, what'll happen is you will definitely hurt your throat because it will burn on the way down. And you're not going to enjoy it. And I mean, this is an affordable bottle, but it was still like $97, right? So I'm not going to be chugging the liquid. I think you won't get any of the nuance though, right? You'll just get sort of the alcohol burn. Whenever I'm like, hey, do you like whiskey? And the person's like, no, I don't know. I've only had it a few times and it really burnt me. Like, you don't drink it like Coke. You take a sip, you roll it around a bit, or you chew it. You let your mouth acclimate, and then you swallow. Or as Richard Patterson says, mm, 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 mm. It really is drying on the tongue, but it really makes me salivate right at the tip. If any of you guys think that I may slightly disrespect Richard Patterson, master blender at the Dalmore, you'd be right. Yeah, I don't like the alcohol burn on the way up either, David. That's why I drink as little as I can. That was a Patterson, but I don't remember which Patterson that was. You guys are going after each other in a beautiful way tonight. Absolutely beautiful way. Hey, Jerry, if I go to your place, do you have room for me to put up a hammock, or should I bring a tent? Did I see? I think it's Robert Patterson. Robertson Patterson sounds like a kind of screwdriver. Like a new kind of patented screwdriver. For those of you who do not know what I'm talking about, the Robertson screwdriver is the one true screwdriver. It's the only one I use. Is this gonna just keep going? Isn't he the next Bond? David yields to peanut trucker. He's the better smartass. I love it. I love the repartee here tonight, guys. I do. I really do. I love the repartee. Yeah, Kristen, I think he's just being a great big jerk. Excuse me. You guys are really going with this. Oh, Pattinson. Yes, I think you're right. I think you're right. It's not even Patterson. Long live the ass. Oops, that may be a bit naughty. Sorry. Are you about to descend into single entendre here, Destiny? This would be a really nice one to have at a campfire, though. Oh, a little bit of a lemon drop now. You know what I'm saying? Like, a campfire is an ideal place for a whiskey in a lot of ways, or a fireplace even. But there's a magic to having a wee dram next to a campfire. I mean, I guess you could sort of say the same thing about beer, but to me, there's a magic to one dram campfire as the sun goes down. All your camp chores are done. All your blades are away. You got nothing to do but sit there, stare into the fire, maybe read a little bit, and then bundle yourself into your sleeping bag and drift into sleep. Sound of peepers in your ear, keeping you the hell awake for a little while. But you've been paddling all day, so you do slip into an exhausted sleep. Sounds like heaven. Country Boy says, I just finished installing an IKEA kitchen last week, and I have to agree on the Robertson screw. Phillips screws suck ass. They do. Yeah. Peanut says, David is my hero. I'll be throwing a barbecue this winter when he comes to Florida, and Canadian will be the entertainment. Don't throw that barbecue too far. They can be a little heavy. Sean agrees with me, because of course you do. Because you're a man of rare taste, refinement. Your intelligence is peak. Your appreciation of the finer things in life is on fleek, as the kids now say, and nobody else does. And you're just you're a scholar and a gentleman, Sean. This is why. This is why you think that way. I do like these live streams, guys. I'm having a ball tonight. I mean, I'm getting a little quiet at this point because I'm trying to remember what else I wanted to talk about tonight. I had all these things planned, but yeah, this is a good way to spend my Tuesday nights. We're making up for 3 weeks of hell here, guys. Making up in spades. Whiskey marinated steak. I would probably do bourbon, something like that. You don't want to marinate it in something peaty, I don't think. And I wouldn't use a really expensive whiskey. No. Yeah, okay. No, not a really expensive whiskey, but I also wouldn't do a really expensive cut of meat. because I have no idea if what I would do instead of marinating the whiskey in steak. That didn't work, did it? Instead of marinating the steak in whiskey, maybe what I would do is pour it into the pan or whatever. You know, as you're cooking the steak. You know how you will add wine to a sauce, like you make a roux, you add a little wine in instead of chicken broth or whatever as you're turning it into a gravy. You're cooking your steak on a hot rock or something, or maybe you're just using a cast iron pan on a campfire, so you're getting a bit of that campfire smoke, but it's not like you're barbecuing it over wood. But you've got your steak going, you've thrown your butter into the pan, maybe a little rosemary, just toss a glug of a bourbon in there, because something like a bourbon or an Irish whiskey or a Canadian whiskey, but let's face it, bourbon suits the motif. It'll bring sort of a sweetness that you would get with like a barbecue sauce that's heavy on the brown sugar kind of thing. Because you're going to get smoky flavors already from the campfire. And I also have to say that I'm getting really freaking hungry right now because of this here Chitty McChat we're having. But yeah, I would, instead of marinating it, I would throw it into the pan as you're cooking it. Butter, rosemary, glug of whiskey. Yeah, I'm getting hungry now. I'm going to try this. Not right now, but next time I'm cooking a little steaky steak over the... Rebel says, that with a Cohiba. I respect that. I wouldn't do it because I have way too many breathing problems to to do that. But I do know guys who they have all these like this whiskey with this cigar kind of pairings. When I'm having whiskey, I don't even really like to eat. I like to have just because I like to just enjoy the whiskey all by itself. But some people love that pairing. Peanut Trucker would put no whiskey on his steak. Yeah. Sean is a Macanudo guy. So when I worked in a pub here in town, I worked in an Irish pub that also sold Cuban cigars because they, every weekend, still today, busloads of kids, 18-year-olds from Boston, roll in. Because at 18 you can drink in Quebec, and at 18 you cannot yet drink in Boston. So Boston, sometimes New York City, but like Boston is close enough, like Boston, Plattsburgh, the ones that are within a reasonable bus ride of Montreal, they roll in, fill up the hotels, spend the weekend getting utterly destroyed on Canadian beer and smoking as many Cuban cigars as they can. And it's funny because there's always like this, we're going to show the Canadians kind of element, so it's minus 40 out and they're walking across the street from the hotel to the pub, in a t-shirt or a short skirt or whatever, pound back 7 Canadian beer and then order the 911 wings. And we always had this thing like, you can't have your money back. And we don't suggest you go for the 911 wings because they're hot. And like, bring them on. And they were hot enough that don't even touch your face kind of thing. And invariably these guys after like 7 beer would like have 6 of the 12 or 4 of the 12. And then when they're back at their hotel, they're like sitting there and holding onto the towel rack for dear life kind of thing all night. But yeah, so whenever someone talks about cigars, I remember those days back before you could no longer smoke inside anywhere in Quebec. But I do remember the smell of those Cuban cigars. But I don't know where a Macanudo comes from. Sean says, a rule of thumb for using any alcohol in cooking is simple. Only cook with something you would actually drink. Scotch, a splash or two, add it to barbecue sauce, and brushed on chicken on the grill. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. And again, though, I wouldn't use a peaty scotch. I'd use something more on the vanilla kind of side. Good ribeye only needs some coarse salt. We generally only use spices on our steaks. We don't tend to use a barbecue sauce. We would put sauce on like chicken breasts instead. So I understand that. Country Boy says it's cheese o'clock. Yeah, except that it looks like I'm running solo tonight, so I'm not gonna step away. Russell says I think honey isn't used enough in cooking. I use honey a lot in certain contexts. Sometimes I'll use maple syrup instead, but yeah, I think it's an ideal element to a good barbecue sauce. Like if you're whipping up a sauce on the go. When I make my granola, I do for the wet, 6 tablespoons of butter. Actually, I usually use coconut oil, and then like half cup of honey, half cup of maple syrup. Then once it's all dissolved together, I'll add in maybe a half teaspoon of vanilla, and then mix it into my oats and everything. But yeah, I think you're right. Honey is way more versatile than we think. Grace used to live in Plattsburgh. It's if you still lived in Plattsburgh, I'd come down and see you, and while I'm down there, I would buy some good bourbon. We should meet up in Lake Placid. I'm not against doing a meetup at some point. I just have to plan it like a year in advance, kind of thing. Is that in Canada? It should be, but it's not. Actually, Lake Placid is in New York State. The two that I keep saying, sort of tongue-in-cheek, should be part of Canada is Vermont and Alaska. Because Vermont is as Canadian as the States gets. Yeah, around Lake Placid, there's some nice countryside, though. Like to get back on a more serious note. I've driven through upper New York State a lot because living with a woman of Haitian extraction, of course I have in-laws in New York and Miami. What time are we at? 10:20. Who's still hanging? We still got David, still got Peanut, still got Country Boy, still got Rebel. I could use some cheese. I think it would be hard to plan a get together because we're in such disparate areas, Upper New York State would be a nice place. Vermont would be fabulous. I love that state. I really like it. Excuse me. Yeah. Nah, Destiny. I'm not gonna go grab the cheese right now. I don't need to grab no cheese. David says, "Wait, hold on. I'm just waiting for it to pop. Go grab some cheese. I can tell dad jokes while you're gone." Okay, I'll be right back. But I'm not muting myself this time because I don't want to be all like. Right back. I'll tell you something. So good. Here's a funny thing. There's literally no reason for me to be wearing cans right now. I'm solo. Nobody's saying anything to me. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, Plattsburgh's about an hour and 15 away. The border can really add on to that time, though. Did you hear about the vegan who didn't tell anyone they were a vegan? Me neither. Oh, nice. A horse walks into a bar. That's it? What did one plate say to another plate? Tonight dinner's on me. How do you get a one-armed newfie from a tree? You wave at him. Oh. Sarah Jessica Parker walked into a bar and the bartender asked why the long face. Zing. Border crossings are horrifying. I don't know about coming north. I've never had a problem coming north, but it's always added like an hour or two onto my time. Just, going south, whether it's Le Col or Champlain or whatever. But I should probably cross the border soon so that I can hit the duty free. I want to get some stuff that I can't get in Quebec. So I was disappointed by this when I got it, but it's a pretty good dram. It's not a bad dram at all. There's a real there's a nice. I'm really into flavors that are briny and maritime. I'm also into flavors that are peaty and smoky. Really near the top for me on the peaty smoky side is like Ardbeg because there's a real barbecue, campfire and barbecue element there that I just can't get enough of. Which sounds more alcoholic than it is. What I mean is I really like it. Crossing into Canada with a truck and a load is a nightmare now. Haven't been since '92. Yeah, it's funny how much it's funny how long it can take to get from one side of a line to the other. Could be worse though. We could live in the UK. That's a whole another level of hellish. For sure. And they did it to themselves. I'm going to step away from that because that could get political really fast. So I'm just going to shut right up. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to stop right there. Oh, I'm really glad that showing you guys those video clips worked. Now I gotta get some video stuff, put it on my hard drive so that I can share it during the live streams. Who knows? Maybe I should do some special features. Like I have time, and I hardly have time to do the live streams. Can you imagine me trying to do special features? But I really want to get back to doing the interviews and panel discussion series. I got to find something to have a panel discussion about so that I can have a panel to discuss it. Excuse me. Those are some of my favorite live streams when I have guests on doing the Chitty McChat. I should have Sean on. I should have Sean on to talk about, about off-gridding in Alaska. Like, the winter temperatures in the Yukon and Alaska and the Northwest Territories and, like, northern Quebec, it must bring an element of hardship that we don't get down here. Like, if I was off-gridding in this area, or like where Russell is, like in the dead of February, it must be tough to be off-grid north of the Arctic Circle, or even near the Arctic Circle, up in the tundra lands. Grace says, Lake Champlain was behind my house. Also had some of those big old tanks for oil, I think. Only time I ever canned was on that lake, fishing for perch. Nice. Oh, it sounds amazing. Oh, canned was, what? Canned. Oh, canoed. Okay. Have Sean on to talk about outdoor chicken kitchens. Okay. All right. But yeah, I should really come up with a list of people to have on this year. Kind of want to get what's his Real Big Monkey one? What's his name? I've forgotten his bloody name. I think it's. I've blown it. I don't think I said it right. There's a couple of guys I feel like I should have on. I have a list somewhere in this room, and I'm gonna have to find it. See if I can kick that shift back into shape. Get that restarted. Dave Pearson? Grace, is that someone you think I should have on? Dave Pearson. Fun in the Woods? Oh, is he the Fun in the Woods guy? Oh, he is Really Big Monkey one, is it? Is Dave Pearson his actual name? Peanut Trucker says I should have David Evans on. He could do a couple of minutes of dad jokes. Yeah. Every live stream I should have him on for 5 minutes to tell dad jokes, like one after the other. Okay, from 10 to 10:05, 10:04, 10:04 and a half, 10:05. Okay, stop. Or do one of those, like just do a 5 minutes of dad jokes, but like don't laugh. Do you guys know, like, those videos on YouTube? People sitting across from each other and telling each other dad jokes, and like you can't laugh. Yeah, Really Big Monkey one. I wonder if he would come on. I don't know. I'll see. I'll take a look. I'll take a look how it goes. Ooh, 10:33. I can't believe we're almost finished. Like this dram. So good. Just so good, You gotta stay hydrated, people. You just have to. Where was I? David could be my first special feature. Dave and the dad jokes. I could do a special feature of like 45 seconds of him just like deadpanning them. Horace walks into a bar, wide long face. Just boom, boom, boom. totally deadpanning. I like it. I like the idea. Tell you what, I'll do. I will at some point prepare a special feature for the first live stream I do after hitting 3,000 subs, which can't be too far off. It could be pretty far off, actually, especially because my content has not been coming out lately. Hey, Jim's here. How's it going? Just got out of work, so I guess you're going to be driving home. Safe drive. So I don't remember what I'm at in terms of members, but I've subs, but I'm not really close to 3,000 just yet. But yeah, that's what I should do. When I hit 3,000, I should have like a special feature ready to go for my first live stream, post 3,000. And then I'll do another one post 5,000, and then another one post 1 million. Because at some point I'll start putting out freaking content again. You know, Jim gets out of work really late, and then he drives home for an hour. And it's cool that he spends his time listening to us. Excuse me. In fact, sometimes now I will listen to like Alicia, City Girls coffee chat. Sometimes I'll listen to that while I'm in the car. I'll turn it on and I'll turn the phone away so that I'm not distracted like by blinking box. I just sort of like listen. That's if I'm okay. So I'm at 2.98 thousand subs. Thanks, David. Oh, it's only a half hour because you're not going up north. Sorry to hear it. Sorry to hear it. I am. So what do you guys think is best? Because like a lot of lakefront or riverfront property is really flood prone these days. But is that true of like being on the Great Lakes, like being on Lake Huron or like Michigan or Superior? You know, because they're big, right? Like they can probably handle, you know, an ice dam without overflowing their banks because they're huge. But like if I'm dreaming about a place, right? Like I'm gonna win 30 mil and I'm gonna buy a chunk of land and build a lakefront property or a riverfront property or a blah. Like, do you have to be careful of like building on the shore of a Great Lake? I mean, provided you could find land. I mean, this is completely theoretical. Don't at me. I mean, I know you're not going to be able to, you know, build across the Bruce Trail or anything like that. But like, do you have to worry about that on the Great Lakes as you would on like any lake in Quebec right now? Lac de Montagne or something? Oh, nice. Jim's taking an extra vacation day for the long weekend. I like it. I support you in that. David says you should drive an extra 30 minutes, Jim, just so you don't lose the practice. Sean said, if you're high enough from the water, it'll never reach you. Like my lake will never get high enough to reach my house. But then are you too high to sort of scramble down to the waterfront and do fishing or something? Right? Like, my mother-in-law is a good 10 or 15 feet above the usual water line, but, you know, well, she didn't used to be that high off the water line. Never mind. I was going to say that, you know, that lake did go up a good 10 feet a few times in the past 10 years. Excuse me. 21 more minutes, people. Somebody tell me something to regale you about, a story to tell or something that I know huge amounts about so that I can regale you all. Because at 11, I am going to go to bed. Oh, and actually at 11, I'm going to do my Duolingo. Then I'm going to go to bed. It's got to be in good shape for work tomorrow. You have a dock halfway down the hill, but you mowed the whole property. Fair enough. Jim says the water levels are cyclic. Okay. Excuse me. Oh, so much yawning. David doesn't feel sorry for people who build so close to a body of water that could potentially flood. Yeah, the thing is, like, a lot of residential areas were put into floodlands before the once in a century storm became a once every 5 years storm, you know? Jim says, one year we had a beach that was about 50 feet. The next year we had 200 yards. Then we only had 100 yards. It changes so often. Fair enough. Garden talk. Or trucker talk. I don't know anything about trucking, though. We've started our garden. Well, we planted in those little jute pots, and we got some stuff coming up. So if we ever have time, we're going to transplant them into the actual garden itself. My wife wants to put in 4 tomato plants. I think that's a terrible idea because they're going to take over my whole garden. We got, beans, zooks, sugar snaps. We got peppers, but I would like to get some like jalapenos and some like, I don't know, habaneros or something, because I love that stuff. So I'm gonna see if we're getting pretty late, but I'm gonna see about buying some seedlings and dropping them in. I think that'd be nice. I bought a bunch of seeds of flowers that are native, Quebec native, and also, Quebec and Ontario native, and will also attract hummingbirds. So I'm looking forward to seeing them pop up. What I'm going to do either at some point after work this week or on Saturdays, I'm going to empty my compost onto the garden. Sort of get it in there, then put a layer of earth on top, and then I think we'll just put in our plants. Oh. Peanut sugar. My wife is doing potatoes for the first time this year, and the squash is doing real good. I like it. I love squash. You can plant basil in between the tomatoes. Carrots can grow under the tomatoes. Yeah, we have some carrots started already. David is asking Chris if he's getting a new rig. Are you getting a new rig? Is Peanut Trucker going to be the owner? Well, not the owner, because you don't own that rig you drive, right? I don't believe how tired I am. It's only 10:42. I will not be staying up late tonight. I will tell you. I will tell you truthfully. Yeah, Shawnee, we've been trying to get hummingbirds to come for a few years now. And we've absolutely been going about it all wrong. So I've sort of got it. I've got the knowledge squared away now. I know what to do. I'm trying it out this year. New job equals new truck, says Peanut Trucker. Let's hope it's a beauty. Let's hope it's a Volvo. Country Boy says, my lady puts all her hot peppers in pots. They do really well, same as her tomatoes. Yeah, we do our peppers in pots as well. Yeah. Absolutely. I would like to do the tomatoes in pots as well. Here's the thing, like, we end up with so many plants because a squirrel will like take a bite out of one and spread seeds everywhere. And then my garden is subsumed by tomato plants. No, Volvo. No, I wasn't being serious. Another Peterbilt. Peterbilt. I have been wondering Who the heck owns Peterbilt? PACCAR. What the hell is PACCAR? It's a multinational company primarily focused on the design and manufacture of large commercial trucks through its subsidiaries, DAF, Kenworth, and Peterbilt. Interesting. Is that your favorite, Peanut? Is Peterbilt like is that sort of the pinnacle for you? Ooh, Jim put in 3 habanero plants, 2 tomatoes, and 2 jalapenos. Nice. I like it. David, I don't know what would be wrong with a Volvo. It's just I've heard a few truckers sort of diss the Volvo. So I don't know. Which reminds me, there are a lot of Polestars in this town. Like there's a lot of Polestars. There's a Lucid Air dealership really close to my house. And you look at those Polestars and it's absolutely obvious that they're electric Volvos. Like you just look at them, it's absolutely for sure that it's Volvo chassis. The back lights are like a takeoff of the Volvos. But yeah, yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we're not talking about big rigs at that point. I mean, Polestars are cars; they're sedans, and they're expensive. David Evans says, I can see peanut butter in a Volvo smoking a pipe. With a fireplace in the corner. Tweed jacket with leather patches on the elbows. Peanut Trucker says a Volvo and Freightliner are for door swingers and steering wheel holders. I do not even know what that means. I don't know what a door swinger or a steering wheel holder would be. But evidently it's not what Peanut Trucker is. Nectar of the gods. Oh yeah, dude, and wearing slippers, yeah. The trucker's never driven a Volvo, but he has smoked some. Okay. Moving right along. Excuse me. Just making sure that we're not going late here. If I go and see Jerry, I wonder how I'll get there with like my axes and stuff. Because I'd have to take the train because I'm still not ready to buy a car. Excuse me. Door swingers, them guys pulling the van trailer with doors on the back. You know, as opposed to the thing that slides up. You mean, like, I didn't know that there was a I didn't know that there was an image there. Country Boy says, my mom worked for PACCAR for 30 years here on the West Coast, and my dad loved his Pete's. I remember doing long hauls with him on summer vacation. Odd I never ended up being a trucker. Not everyone does. The Vantra with doors on the back. I didn't even know that there was an image issue there. Oh yeah, so on my birthday, so on Sunday, the wife and I finally took the time to watch something after the kids were in bed. And as you guys could probably tell, oh yeah, so I was like, what do you want to watch? I'm like, woo, we're going to watch Lord of the Rings Extended Edition. Forgot about it. 10 minutes and we were both out like a light. Done. Absolutely done. And usually, like, she's asleep after 5 minutes and I like stick it out to the end. But It's been so exhausting just living lately that we were just like, done, out, forgot about it. Good night. I woke up at 3 and sort of wandered off to bed. Didn't even clean the kitchen. Such a cool movie. But yeah, the extended edition is a long. That's a big. That's a commitment, you know. David is asking Peanut Trucker if he's going to go work for Swift. You mean the canoe company? Just kidding. I had a dream last night that I bought my Swift canoe. It's disappointing to wake up from that. That's, you know, that's the funny thing is that's what my midlife crisis is going to be, right? Like a $5,000 canoe, maybe a new axe, instead of like a Ferrari and an 18-year-old. I don't even know what Swift is, but you guys all seem to know. You guys are all like trucker adjacent, I guess. I have no idea what Swift is. 10 minutes till the gong, guys. When I said gong, I just remembered a long time ago. I used to have an axe head here, and whenever somebody made a super chat or something, I would ding, because it was an old axe head, so it really rang nicely if you flicked it. Maybe I should bring that back. Every time somebody makes a super chat or a membership, I would ding the axe head. I'd have to find that axe head though. That would be better than every time someone does, I would take a shot, right? Because I don't want to get shit-faced. I meant 3 sheets to the wind on my live stream, just because people are throwing their hard-earned money at me. Oh, David says that there are funny YouTube videos about Swift drivers. I don't even know what Swift is, but you guys do. I need to gain this knowledge. I must learn. I must learn the secrets. The secrets of the trucking secrets, the secrets of the Swift. I feel left out in the cold. In the cold, guys. On an Alaskan highway in the middle of February. Trucks zooming by. No one's letting me in because I don't know what a Swift is. Yeah. That's what it's like right now. David says Swift is a trucking company. And are they like a trucking company widely considered to be a joke? I would look it up, but I don't want to look away from the screen right now. So I just typed it into Google anyway. Swift is a trucking company that is accurate and timely when it comes to transportation and logistics. Well, that sounds good. Destiny says, if money doesn't grow on trees, why do banks have branches? Naughty girl. Country Boy says Swift is a crashing company. Oh, known for bad drivers. So it's like UPS. Actually, UPS isn't known for technically bad drivers, just more just for not caring. Destiny, David approves of your joke. Peanut Trucker says, on YouTube, type Swift best in crash. Okay. I'll do that after we're done here. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. Mayhaps. Mayhaps I will do it tomorrow. So in our last 8 minutes, I don't really know. Like I sort of chopped through all the stuff I wanted to talk about. What I should do is take notes throughout the week and add stuff that. David's out. All right. Good night. Good night, David. Nice to see you. Thanks for helping out with the moderating. Sleep well. In about 6 minutes, I will be doing the exact same thing. I'll be saying night all. Not night owl. Night all. You know. And I'm gonna be going to bed. Did anyone listen in on Dennis's live stream today? I did not, because I'm still only halfway through his bear safety episode. It's going slowly this week, but I'd like to give it a listen. Destiny checked out that YouTube channel. I'll check it out later. Excuse me. We are 4 minutes until the end of the show. So this would be when Bettina usually shows up. Oh, really? Rebel is trip planning Crown Land Atlas. So are you in Ontario? I think I've asked you that, right? And saying good night. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to. I would love to be planning a Crown Land trip myself. No, yeah, so you're in yeah, because the Crown Land Atlas is well known. Ours is fairly similar, I think, but neither of them are like easy because they're not made for paddlers, right? They're made for resource extraction guys. But yeah. How long is the trip going to be? Is it like you doing a 5-day kind of thing, or are you doing a full-on 10-day, or what? I wish I could find the Crown Land in Quebec. It's so hard to find. May as well just sort of run across the border to see if there's Crown Land around the Ottawa area, because I know how to get to that area. Destiny, bonsoir tout le monde, bisous. This was fun. All right, good night, Destiny. I hope to see you next week. Yeah, we're coming down the home stretch here, people. 3 minutes until end time. After which, I will drop a line into Russell's Discord just to make sure that he's still awake. Oh, he's still awake. He's saying good night, peeps. Good night, Russell. I will speak to you soon. Sorry to have missed Russell's live stream this week, but I was doing the giggage. I was playing the musics. Jim checked into Dennis's live stream while at lunch, but only got to watch about 10 minutes. So yeah, I always have to watch Dennis's live stream time shifted. Because before I rush down here to throw everything together and get on, I'm doing supper stuff and I'm doing kitty stuff, and kitty not as in kids, not kitty as in cats. But yeah, Peanut Trucker, let me know when you get your new Peterbilt. Take a lot of pictures. Are you excited? I shouldn't be eating these mints like candy, though technically they are candy. All right, you know what? It's 10:58. Everyone's just sort of saying good night to each other, so maybe I'll just say good night as well at this time. Get ready to go to bed. Not be too tired at work tomorrow. So I guess in this last minute and a half, I'll just say to everyone I hope to see you next week. For sure, remember what I said about sending me a postcard or a note with bushcraft or YouTube related questions. When I get 10 of them together, I'll do a Q&A. The address is down below the doobly-doo. Oh, big bump in pay as well. I like it. Nice. So yeah, between now and next Tuesday, everybody please stay safe, stay sane, stay healthy, and be kind to one another. Good night.